Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So,
rotating my stylist. Brokenness feeling like sin. Now no breath, low dollar. Used to be left on red. Now all the girls go holler.
I've purposely left a political element out of this top of the blog because I just don't feel like it, but I just got to comment just real quick. It's not funny. It's not funny. Serious Roxanne. I don't really know what's going on with Mitch McConnell, but every time I watch that video, I just cannot stop laughing. I know it's mean. I know it's not right. I don't really like Mitch McConnell. Of course, I wouldn't want to see that happen to any of your loved ones. The Roxstars loved ones, you guys are good. You know, I'm going to pray for, I'm going to cover y'all people. If anything like that would happen to your, you know, mama, daddy, sister, brother, cousin, uncle, auntie, friend, okay, lover. But Mitch McConnell just, I mean, he just zoned out. And then came back 15 minutes later and was like, I'm fine. And I was like, Mitch, you are not fine. I was like, what are you talking about? You completely stopped talking. Okay, it's not funny. I'm not sure if he had a stroke or something. Mitch McConnell is 82 years old. The gatekeepers of our political system are all very old, all having a time letting go. I guess they feel like the current climate is not strong enough to lead this country in the direction that they would like to see it go. So, you know, we have a lot of elderly people that are in politics. Not saying that they can't do the job, but clearly there are some that probably should retire. Okay, so on that note, I'm gonna leave it alone. I hope that Mitch is gonna be all right. You know, maybe he can go on off and retire and live the rest of his days in peace and not have to be on camera and having an episode such as that. I guess real fast, since I'm already talking about it, Ron DeSantis, anybody that votes for that motherfucker is crazy. That's all I am going to say. Of course, we know about him. The most recent fool of fucking niggatry that comes out of Florida is that they are now teaching their children that slavery, there were benefits that came from being a slave and that they use that for their personal benefit later on in their life. And I was like, oh yes, okay, so Toby, you know, he learned how not to scream out loud and hold his breath when he was being whipped, and that he was able to use that same exact skill to hold his breath to swim across lakes and ponds as he was trying to run from the slave owners that were on his tail. You see, he used that for his personal benefit, you know, holding the breath and then later on being able to use that same skill to help his life. Because once Toby got to freedom on the other side, hey, it was good that he knew how to hold his breath, right? Thank you, slave owner, for beating the hell out of Toby. I was just like, now how silly does that sound? I don't even know why they would feel that, I mean, I would hope that even white people understand that this is ridiculous. Okay, you cannot erase history. You cannot get rid of history. This is what happens. I know they try to do it all the time. Okay, but the black people, at least we know that the black people are not going to let this happen. The black people that have sense, because your Clarence Thomases and the sort probably will go along with this way of thinking. But it's not just up to black people to make sure that we keep our stories out there. I think that this country owes it to us as black people to have our history correct, the same way that we know about many other races and nationalities that have, you know, had horrible things that happened to them. We know all about it, okay? So why shouldn't it be the same way for black people? I don't really know what's going on with Ron DeSantis. That fool is crazy, okay? I'm not sure if he believes the shit that he's saying or if he's just throwing up whatever he can at the wall to see what will stick to keep up his rhetoric. I mean, I think he's trying to be shocking like Trump is, but it's authentic to YSAP. And DeSantis it feels like he's in some sort of desperation to be known. I don't know. Okay, but we gonna just not even think much. Now, they say that Ron DeSantis's numbers are very low. You know, he recently had to fire a lot of staff, and he's trying to, you know, he doesn't have as much money as a lot of the other people that he's going up against. I don't see how any of this can help him. Like, even if you felt a way about black people as a white person, I'm just like, you gotta know that this is going to be very touchy with the mass. So I don't know, but you guys, y'all down in Florida, I feel sorry for you guys. Like, I don't know, man. If he continues on heading that state, how long do they, even if he doesn't win, which I don't believe he will, how long is the governorship there? You know, if you guys bring him back, something fucking wrong with y'all. Now, I can't even be mad at Ron no more. Something gonna be wrong with y'all. Okay? But that's it. That wasn't even supposed to be here. But I just, since, you know, we was already talking about Uncle Mitch. It's not for... I mean, I don't want the man to die, you know. But I was just like, he was like, child. Any medical professionals out there that could tell us what this episode was? Did it look like it could have been like some sort of mini stroke, or something happened? The wires got crossed up, and he couldn't say anything. So yeah. Anyway, you guys, let's get to the gossip.
All the girls gon' follow, all the fake fans gon' pile up. I need peace to borrow, get that shit right back tomorrow.
Okay, so the official first story up is your girl Carlee Russell. Carlee Russell. Okay, that's what her mama named her. Yeah, so an update. I wasn't gonna do this, but I'll go on and do it because I know that people are still very hungry to talk about this case. She did admit that she lied. She released a statement with her lawyer. The Hoover Police Chief Nick Durzis said that it was a hoax, and that they always knew that. Well, they knew very early on that it was. The attorney read a statement that said that she did apologize to the police department and the people who were looking for her. Apparently, she did not leave the Hoover area. She did this act of fake kidnapping on her own. They said that she didn't have any help, and that she did not stay at any hotel. And so the big question is, where was she? She was missing for 49 hours. I don't know what her state was when they found her. I mean, you know, they told us that she was healthy and everything, but they didn't say what she looked like. 49 hours out on the street somewhere. You know, she just doesn't look like the girl that would be just sleeping in somebody's woods or a park or hidden away behind a building or something like that. So I think the police are still investigating to see if there are other people that was involved that helped her. What we can say is that boyfriend didn't help, and the boyfriend's family didn't help, because the boyfriend did put out a statement that he felt the same way that we did, you know, that we was hoodwinked and bamboozled. And even though he did say, you know, that he wishes people will stop teasing her and memeing her and everything on Instagram and social media as a whole, which I'm sorry comes with the territory. That's just kind of how the world is today. And some of those memes have been hilarious. You know, you can laugh at him now because the girl is alive, you know? So once you get over the anger, or maybe the laughter will help you get over the anger of what she's done. But yeah, the boyfriend is pretty much like, yeah, he was mad just like everybody else, and he ain't supporting none of the bullshit that's coming out of the Carlee Russell camp right now. So now she did apologize to the community. She apologized to her family. She apologized to just everybody that was looking for her. Clearly she didn't think this went out, okay? They are asking for prayers, you know, for her as she tried to sort out her life and her life decisions, the way that she thinks things out. I don't know if you guys are going to be wasting your prayers on that, or, you know, if you got other pressing matters that you need to be attending to. But I guess the next prayer that Carlee is going to be making is that the police don't press charges. Okay, I read something most recently that they have been in discussion with her lawyer and saying that she can get They were going to charge her $6,000 what is that, restitution or something that they call it, and that she may spend up to 1 year in jail. So that's what's on the table. And, I guess we'll find out if, if that's what's going to happen, if she is going to have to pay the money and spend some time in jail. I kept saying that I didn't know if I felt like the girl needed to go to jail, but you guys was like, no, she needs to go to jail, because if so-and-so went to jail, there's some other woman. What was the woman's name? Sarah Peterson or something? I didn't write the name down, but you guys, many of you were in my comments saying, nope, this has happened to it's the same similar situation happened to the other woman. They put her in jail for however many months or whatever. So the same thing should happen to Carlee Russell. I mean, I guess I can't worry about it one way or the other. Hate to see such a beautiful young girl in jail, at such a young age. Well, you guys, she's 25, but that's still kind of young to me. But, you do the shit, you play clown games, you win clown prizes. That's pretty much how it goes. So we don't have to talk about it too long. That's just the latest update on Carlee Russell. I know she's hoping that this will all die down, and it will eventually, but the people still got that story fresh in our brains, honey. She definitely took over the month of July. That's it. That's the update on Miss Carlee Russell. And we'll see if anything happens to her, possibly her family. Child, wouldn't it be a twist if we found out that the mama knew that she was child? I sure hope nothing like that happens. Anyway, when I know more about the story, I guess I'm gonna have to tell y'all. Okay, next story.
Somehow all the fans go bravo, smile so much to hide my sorrow, faith is shaky in vibrato.
All right, you guys, so this interview with NeNe Leakes, okay, and Carlos King. This is probably Carlos King's biggest interview to date. I didn't watch all of the interview. I've watched clips because I can only take NeNe in small doses. Let's start with the positive parts of the interview. I like when NeNe can talk about herself and her life and be truthful. So the part when she was talking about what was going on with Bryson, she was just very clear. I told you guys last week, that Bryson was going through a lot, and she confirmed that as well. And she has lovingly, as a mother, decided to be hands off because she's been so hands on. And, when you are trying to help a person who is addicted to whatever, and if they're not ready, then you are going to be running yourself up against a brick wall over and over and over again. There becomes a time when you just have to be like, okay, I'm gonna have to back out, no matter how much it hurts your heart. I can't even imagine if my kids was going through that struggle, how difficult it would be for me to release, because my kids ain't going through no struggle like that. And it's still hard for me to release a lot of times and just let them learn on their own. But I've learned that that's what you have to be as a mother sometimes, or as a parent sometimes, so that part of the interview I was good with. When she talked about her relationship with Nyonsala, the Nigerian dress shop owner from North Carolina, I thought it was ironic that she was with a married man, but she had said, close your leg to married man. I forgot all about that statement. I don't know why I would, because that is one of Nene-isms for sure. But when Carlos brought it back, I kind of smiled to myself, because I was like, hey, life come at you fast, right? See, that's why sometimes you need to just not say certain things. Now, she said that, while she was fully married to Greg, not knowing how her life was going to be some 10, 15 years later. But yeah, that is kind of why sometimes you just really need to watch what you say. Okay. She said that when she met him, he was separated, which meant to her that he was not married. She don't know what he told the wife. Well, the wife told you a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. Because she told us the same thing, and NeNe was just like, tell it to your husband, not to me. But she continued on that relationship, so I was just like, oh, okay, well, maybe there was some addendums to that statement. But the most annoying part of the NeNe Carlos interview is one that is so obvious, even if you do care and love Carlos or NeNe, but it comes, we need to address the fact that these two continuously talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. Carlos is the man over at OWN. Okay, he's got many successful shows over there. And yes, he does also tend to his own shows, but he is still so deep into the Real Housewives franchise to the point where it almost gives obsession. Okay, it's giving obsession, like the kids like to say. But I'm just like, as much as he talks about Real Housewives, the franchise, and in particular Real Housewives of Atlanta, I just wonder, why is it? What does he get from it? It feels like it's a very low-key way of shooting daggers at the franchise, okay? Yes, it seems like he's just supporting the shows because he loves the shows, so he loves the girls that are still on the show, but underneath all of that, it feels like him bringing this extra scope to the franchise. It's like he almost is, it's really like a conniving, manipulative way. See, the thing that happens is it feels like Carlos makes sure that he is very supportive in a lot of ways of the franchise. So he gets on the people. He gets the following and the support of people who want to hear him talk about Real Housewives. And then while he's got all of you guys' attention, then he'll point out the negatives. Okay. And when you continue to do that, then you've got people that are normally fans of the show now having a lot of negative things also to say because they've heard Carlos say it. It's like a very low-key way of trying to change up the support for that franchise, to me anyway. And we know that he got fired. Well, he said that he didn't, but you know, it was always said that he was released from Bravo when all that shit happened with the dungeon. We know he has bad blood with Kandi. Well, he says that he doesn't, but we know that Kandi and her team ain't really feeling Carlos King like that, because he, along with Phaedra, this is all just like folklore. We don't know for a fact, but it was said that Carlos and Phaedra got together and put together that story about Kandi raping people in their sex dungeon at their home. Okay? Which is a big, big accusation. And now you're talking about legalities. Y'all know my favorite word. And possibly Kandi could have been charged. I mean, that could have brought more attention, bad, negative, to her. So Kandi, being the Taurus that she is, they ain't really too forgiving. Quite stubborn. It is a bull, right? Kandi ain't trying to see Carlos. And Phaedra has been put off of Real Housewives, you know, forever. And Carlos is away from the franchise as well. So now that, you know, Carlos seems to be very preoccupied with the franchise and all. And I just don't know why. But I think that what I told you is some of the reason, or a good part of the reason. It's his way of trying to sway the audience. When it comes to NeNe, clearly we know that NeNe would love to be back on Real Housewives of Atlanta. NeNe shot her own self in her own foot by accusing Bravo, Real Housewives, and the producers of racism. Now, Bravo will never bring NeNe back. It is a done deal, because if you guys would put yourselves in Bravo's shoes, why would I trust and bring back a person that accused me of racism, especially in today's climate? You know, we know that racism is a big hot topic, and no company that wants everybody to watch their shows wants to be accused of racism. They have a big black audience, especially Real Housewives of Atlanta, you know. So, no, I would not ever bring NeNe back, as much as my damn numbers have suffered or whatever. But let's talk about the suffering of the viewership. all reality show viewership is going down. People are not as invested or interested in reality shows as they were once before. So it's easy for NeNe to say that when she was on the show, the numbers were high. Okay. But I'd be willing to bet that if NeNe did come back to the show, the numbers would jump probably, but eventually they'd slide back down because it's just sort of like, yeah, asked and answered. We've already been through this. I mean, what more kind of storylines are you even going to introduce on Real Housewives of Atlanta? Okay, this shit is chopped and screwed. We've seen it over and over and over again. So NeNe being, you know, we can be excited to see NeNe again, but eventually it's gonna go back down. If everybody was such a huge NeNe fan and wanted to see NeNe on TV, they would have watched College Hill. Celebrity College Hill. And while I believe they did have a good viewership of that show, it wasn't Real Housewives of Atlanta numbers, you know. And so if you are such a big NeNe fan, that means you follow NeNe wherever, right? Well, did you guys follow her over there onto College Hill? You know, how many of you guys, let me ask, because I might be wrong, but how many of you guys, this is just an impromptu poll, how many of you guys watched College Hill, Celebrity College Hill, when she was there? Okay. But anyway, NeNe would love to be back, but NeNe shoots daggers at the show and the franchise because she is salty. That's just the word, you guys. She's salty. That the show has continued to go on, even when she keeps on talking bad about it, it will still continue to go on. And there are still people, you know, the Real Housewives of Atlanta fanship is a totally different beast. I can't tell you how many people be in my comments talking bad about the show, but watch it every week. Okay. I can't stand this. Like, I'm so sick of it. Now I do it. Well, I try not to. That's why a lot of times I try not to complain about it. I just try to give you guys the review. But if you would really listen to yourself, you sound silly. You watch the show every week to be annoyed and then get on a review, YouTube review, and then complain about how bad it is. You know, I'm getting paid for it. But even still, I try to still find the humor and try to make it entertaining and everything. But you guys, like, why are you guys doing that to yourself? If you want to see NeNe on the show and she's not there, why are you still watching the show? The lady is not going to appear. Okay, it's not going to be a poof out of thin air kind of situation there. NeNe is done. You know, when she talked about Cynthia trying to get her off the show, yeah, Cynthia may have done that, but I know that NeNe was saying that Cynthia doesn't lend much to the show, that she's not really necessary. How do you talk about your so-called friend that way? Okay, I think that NeNe was trying to be, you know, her NeNe self in an interview and just be like, so, you know, I don't really think. But NeNe did shoot first. And so then Cynthia, we never really knew exactly what Cynthia said or did. Or maybe we did. I can't remember, but I know you guys would be like, yeah, Roxanne, season 9. Remember when Cynthia said on episode 14? I'd be like, how do you guys remember this shit? Okay. But from what I remember, I don't know exactly what Cynthia said. I always thought that NeNe felt like Cynthia was trying to do shit behind the scenes to get her off the show. Okay. But I don't think that Cynthia was going to be successful in doing something like that because NeNe was always, you know, she was one of the primary housewives on the show. And it took some time for Cynthia to come into herself and kind of be seen as herself and not NeNe's lapdog, you know. So, but I just don't like the fact that NeNe can't bow out gracefully, okay? That she won't admit that she could have done some things differently on her end for this outcome not to be the way that it is. She looked great, but NeNe usually looks good on her interviews. NeNe is an entertaining interviewee, you know, but there's just that one part there's that part of NeNe where her pride is never going to let her admit that she fucked up and she fumbled her own bag. Okay, I wish that I had more of an ear into Hollywood. Like, I have some ear into like what goes on in Atlanta when it comes to some of these celebrities here. But I really wish that I had an ear into like the community of Hollywood and whether or not this woman has been blacklisted, because what is happening with NeNe? Like, why ain't she got no show? If Carlos King is the man over there at OWN right now, okay, Tyler Perry done left open for Carlos to take over at least the reality show world over there. Is Carlos going to give her a show? You know, as much as he loves NeNe, I always wondered, why hasn't this even been in the works? Like, what is going on? Why hasn't she gotten another show? I don't know, but yeah. It was good to see NeNe on the screen. Like, it was good to see NeNe up there, you know, in her element, laughing and all. But yeah, NeNe still has like that really ugly part of her. I'm talking about on the inside that she won't let go. And the fans eat it up, and she knows it, and so does Carlos. So that's why they do what they do. But yeah, I'm not going to get involved in what's going on with Carlos versus the YouTubers, because, you know, I try to stay out of that. But what I will say is Alex is my friend, and I know that the allegedly show was his, and the word, he coined the word, even though it's not a word that you can really coin or trademark or anything. But I know that allegedly is synonymous with Alexander Diane Rogers' show that he's been doing for many, many years on YouTube. Okay, so I'm just gonna say, Alex, hold your head up. Those of us that have been watching, we know, okay? And sometimes your hard work don't get seen, but we see you. All right, and we love you, Alex. But yeah, I don't think Alex is crying over it. You know, Alex is always going to find a way to capitalize off of it, so he's going to be fine. I guess I'm just asking you guys what you thought about the talk, the conversation, the words that was coming out of their mouths. You guys, y'all leave all of that below, and we'll get on to the next.
I can't hold a frown too long. I can't stay down too long.
All right, you guys, this is a pretty scary story. We've had a lot of people that have been sick this week, celebrities. First, we'll talk about Bronny James. That's LeBron and Savannah James's oldest son, who is a freshman at USC. You guys know he just graduated from high school. He has a glowing outlook, career of basketball play. You know, we just figured that Bronny was going to follow in his father's footsteps. We know that LeBron James has honed his son, you know, worked with his son. Him and his wife both have made sure that that boy was where he needed to be, you know, so that you know, it was just like a no-brainer. This is Bronny's, LeBron's son. He is going to be the next NBA player. He is a freshman at USC. Apparently, he was practicing with his team Monday morning at the Galen, what is it called? The Galen Center. I guess that's where they practice. Is that on the campus at USC? You know how they be having the names like the Pauley Pavilion and all that. Anyway, I know Pauley Pavilion is not at USC, you guys. I'm just giving an example. But anyway, he was at practice that morning and he collapsed. They called called the ambulance and said he was unconscious for a while. They also worked on him there at the school. I'm sure they had sports doctors there and all, but they rushed him to Cedars-Sinai. He had a short little stint in ICU, then they got him stable, and then they moved him to a, private room where he can continue to recuperate. I didn't write down all the medical terms, and so I'm not really sure what the outlook on his future in basketball will be. I have read just highlights of stories, like the names of the titles of stories and articles. You know, sometimes they can be sensationalized and don't give you really the true information. But this could range from anything where they get him back on track, so that he can play basketball all the way up to it ending his basketball career. Now, of course, I'm sure LeBron and Savannah at the very top of this would want for their son to be healthy. And if that meant that he doesn't play basketball anymore, while that might be a very hard pill to swallow, I'm sure, for LeBron especially. I'm sure that they would want him to be healthy and alive than, you know, a former dead basketball player. So there's that. However, I know that it's got to be a stab in the heart to even be worried about the fact that, you know, all of the hard work that you put in with your child, you know, to help them realize their own dreams, might be dashed away. What's amazing about this story is that he got all the way up to freshman level. You know, he's been playing elite level basketball for some time now, and that it happens now where, well, I guess this will let you know that college level basketball is at the most elite level. I've even heard people say that college level basketball is even harder work than once you get to the professional, because these kids are so hungry. These kids are thirsty. They want that spot in the NBA. So they are playing the fuck out of this basketball, you know? And so in any other sports as well, that college level is like, and then on top of that is the stress of, you have school, you know, you might have your social life as well as being in school, but that mentality of, this is where I have to shine so that the right people see me and pull me up to where I ultimately want to go, you know? So that's a lot on the athlete, on the college athlete. And I know for a fact that a lot of college games are more exciting than pro games. But anyway, yeah, so that was heartbreaking to see. I'm glad that he's okay, and that they're saying that he has, you know, of course he's alive, he's going to be fine in that way. But now we're just waiting to see what is going to be the official word on trying to get him back. This is similar to what happened with Shaq's son. What was his name? I didn't even write him down because I wasn't thinking about Shaq's son until now. But this similar, Shaq's son was having heart issues as well. I think he continues to play basketball, but I don't know. I don't hear much about Shaq's son going to the NBA any longer. So, you know, there's that. But you guys can update me on what's going on with Shaq's son, the one that had the heart issues. But yeah, this is just too bad. It's sad. You know, my heart goes out to LeBron and Savannah. I hope that, you know, your son is okay. And, you know, that he can still realize his dream of being in the NBA. You know, I really hope. I know they got the money to make sure it happens. If it can happen. But if God say different, it just might not be in the cards for Bronny. And it might be something else out there better for him. He gonna be fine either way it goes, honey. Because when you got LeBron as your daddy, your life is already set. So he gonna be fine. But all that hard work of basketball, I know that's got to be heartbreaking. Also, Tori Kelly, just real quick. Tori Kelly was rushed to Cedars-Sinai as well. I know Cedars been busy this week, but she was rushed to Cedars as well. She and her friends were out at a restaurant, and they said that she passed out and that she was out, like they could not get her to come back. Ambulance called, rushed to the hospital, Cedars, and she has blood clots, they say, around a lot of her major organs, like big blood clots, which is very concerning, because, you know, if one of them blood clots make it up to her heart, that's it, it's a wrap. Okay, so this is a pulmonary embolism, and I guess of an extreme kind, when they're saying that she has multiple blood clots that they are trying to work on, which is very, very scary. You guys remember, I mean, we know a lot of people that have had blood clots. Even Nene had pulmonary embolism. Remember, Ray J had pulmonary embolism. One of my best friends had a pulmonary embolism. And you know, she was like, girl, I thought I was out of here, you know. Isn't it funny how you can look totally healthy on the outside and then something could be going on in your body that you don't know anything about, and like that, it can take you out. There are things that cause pulmonary embolism, so things that you would need to be aware of, that could possibly make it happen to you. But yeah, Tori Kelly is still in the hospital, and they say that she's got a fight on her way. Okay, so yeah, prayers up for Tori Kelly, and hopefully that she's able to come out healthy from this, and that they can get rid of these blood clots and get her back to good. Right, next story.
Running from pain, running from strain, running from things, running from schemes.
All right, you guys, this story is about your girl Mo. All right, mama named her Monica. You guys know Monica. Monica is so very Atlanta. Some would even call her hood. I think maybe she may have even lovingly called herself that in the past as well. We know how Monica gets down, and Monica is not afraid of a fight. So apparently Monica was in Detroit singing. She was performing on stage for a very large crowd, and the crowd, it was crowded. People were trying to position themselves out there in the audience to see her. It looked like it was standing crowd, not seats or anything. And there was a man and a woman that were out there that were arguing, that she could see from the top of the stage. And the initial video that we saw, where we're just watching the reaction of Monica as she's singing, she's looking and she's going, hey, wait a minute, and then she sings a little bit more, and then she was like, don't you hit her like that. All right, stop the music. If you guys don't get this nigga out of here, she knows something. And so quickly, everybody turns around, and there's a man and a woman that's struggling out there, and this man swung and hit this woman. Okay, that is what we saw. Well, that is what we saw watching Monica. We saw Monica even jump off the stage as if she was going to go over there and do something, man. And I was like, Monica, girl, you was about 110 pounds, girl. I love you for real. I do. And, I appreciate, a bitch having somebody back like that, but get your ass up out of that damn crowd, because shit can go real left real fast. It didn't. Security was there as well, but, I was just like, I understand how you can try to go hard for your fans and all, but I didn't want her to be down there, because you just don't really know what's going to happen. And then, if this nigga is swinging on this woman, if by any small chance that he might have got away from the security, he might have could have swung on Monica, and then it really would have been a fucking mess out there. People could have gotten hurt, trampled, stampede, because it's a lot of people, right? It didn't go there. They was able to get it under control, get Monica back up on the stage. She apologized. She was triggered by it, just seeing this man hit this woman and all. They obviously took the man out, and I guess she got on back with her show. But it was a big deal, and everybody saw it. And then, child, when she made it onto Good Morning America, that's when I was like, oh, okay, now this, when these people get to talking about it. And Monica was literally on the Zoom explaining how, she had to apologize, that she shouldn't have done that. However, she was triggered. This was what she thought was an elderly woman that was getting hit. And, she just didn't think that was cool. But she did apologize. But she was just, her intention, what she said when she was on the news, she said that her intention was actually to go down there to check on the woman. I was like, that might have been what the intention would have ended up being after you got to that nigga. Because Monica sometimes think that she a dude, and can fight a man. And I'm going to continue to tell you women to stop fucking with these men. Okay? Let the men do men things over there, and let the women do women things. But my mama always told me, I'd have told y'all, my mama said, Roxanne, if you hit somebody, they're going to hit you back. Man or woman. That shit has stuck in my brain my whole fucking life. And my mom has always said that. Do not hit anybody unless you want to get hit back. Okay? And that's the way I see that shit. Okay, but anyway, I say that because now we got a different angle of the video coming. And this new angle where we are now on ground level right next to the people that's fighting. Okay? And now we see that this woman did indeed hit the man first. Now, what I will say about the exchange between the man and the woman is that he was holding her hand. You know how you arguing with somebody, he got this one arm and he's holding it, and she kind of got this other hand. She trying to pull herself away. He's holding on to it. They're arguing back and forth. So it's just sort of like, motherfucker, let go of me. So, you know, you swing because you like, fuck, nigga, let it go. So it's going to depend on what you think was the best way to handle that. If this man is holding on to her, you know, let me go. If you're not going to let me go, then nigga, I'm going to make you let me go. Or did you look at it as if she was swinging? Now, when I saw it, first I was just like, okay, no, she did hit him first. I was like, well, and then my mama already said. Okay, my mama already said. But then I was like, well, he was holding on to her. The whole thing was a mess. I don't know what they was arguing about. I thought maybe it was because it was super crowded, but they had a lot of space, at least right where they was, right there with that arguing. So I don't really know exactly what was bringing this whole thing about. I'm going to just say everybody was wrong, okay? Because if you would have let go of the woman and not touched her in the first place, she wouldn't have been trying to swing on you, but then you got swung on, so then you going to swing back, you know? So everybody fucking wrong. I'd have been like, throw everybody out, okay? Just throw them out. But, of course, that's hindsight. But, you know, I'm still kind of on the woman's side, like, unhand me, nigga, let me go, you know? But y'all let me know what you think. Look at the video, go back, and say, yeah, Roxanne, I can see what you mean. Or you can say, nah, Roxanne, she swung and hit that guy first, so, of course, it might have even been instinct for him to swing back. I mean, you guys can tell me what you thought, but, yeah, I'm going to need you to let me go, sir. Let go of me, please. Thank you.
I can't hold a frown too long.